So, I officially start my last semester of school in less than a week, which is terrifying to think about, but it made me think about and reflect upon all of my years of school. And I think the most traumatizing part of my entire 4 years was not the schoolwork, was not, you know, anything of that nature. It was my roommate from hell that I had freshman year. So everyone pretty much tells you, don't room with your best friend, like blah, blah, blah. It'll be such a mistake. No, there could not be any experience worse than the one that I had. Kendra. So my freshman year, for whatever reason, they told too many people they could live in the dorms. So there was like wait lists for all the dorms. There were people living in like the university hotel. There were people living in like the lounges of every floor. They like literally were just like shoving people wherever they could. So I was on a wait list for this dorm that I really wanted to be in, which in the first place, it's the only dorm without a dining hall. So I don't know why I wanted that one particularly so bad, but I did. So since there was a wait list, I pretty much just had to wait until one spot opened up. So I had no choice of a roommate if I really wanted to live there. And so a spot opens up, they let me know, okay, you're all set, you can live there. And they gave me like the contact information of my new roommate. So I text her, try to be nice. I'm like, oh, hey, like I see you're a sophomore, so like you've lived in the dorms before. Like, is there anything you think like I should get that like I wouldn't think of, blah, blah, blah. 3 days later, she texts me back and tells me to get like a Brita pitcher. And I was like, okay, thanks. I was going to do that anyway. And then I text her, like, again, a couple weeks later, like, I'm just like, hey, like, what day are you gonna move in, blah, 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 like, trying to make conversation, trying to be nice, I'm about to live with this girl for a year, just ignores me, and I don't see her for the first time until, like, our first night, like, sleeping in our room together, because, like, she moved in earlier in the day, and then she, like, left to go do stuff, and then I moved in, like, later in the afternoon, and then I left to go do stuff, and I didn't come back until it was like bedtime. So I come in, I say like hi to her. She literally just ignores me. And yeah, so I hate confrontation. I just can't do it. So you need to know that for this story. She was a monster. She literally acted like I didn't exist at all. Like she would stay up till 4 in the morning every night. I have 8 a.m.s. I'm a freshman. I'm trying to show up to class. She would stay up till 4 a.m. every night. She would have the TV on, all of the lights on. Like, we share a bedroom, and she is doing all of this. She'd be on the phone all night, and I am literally the lightest sleeper in the entire world. Like, if someone sneezes, I'm awake. And it was miserable. I had to get earplugs. I had to get one of those, like, blindfold things that you sleep with. She literally was ruining my life. I basically moved in with one of my friends. We just slept in the same twin bed every night because I didn't want to go deal with her. She would turn the heat up to 80 degrees every day. Like, my ideal temperature is like 68, 69 degrees. And I would try to be like a decent human being. So like when I would turn it back down, I would try to like meet in the middle. So I'd turn it down to like 72, 73, which like was still way too hot for me. But then every time I would leave the room or I would fall asleep, she would turn it back up to 80 degrees. And who can sleep in 80-degree temperatures? So I would always wake back up, and it was so awkward because she would be awake until 4 in the morning. So I would wake up drenched in sweat and walk over to the little thermostat and turn the heat back down as she's just watching me. And we never spoke a word to each other. Like, we did not communicate whatsoever. It was the weirdest thing of my entire life. I have no idea what was wrong with her. She was just so mean. And she always brought her friends into the room, which, like, fine, cool, whatever. But leave when you see me putting my pajamas on and climbing into bed. Which she clearly didn't understand. And then the worst part happens. So she gets this, like, boyfriend from home. I don't know if they ever actually dated or what. But he didn't go to school at all. I don't think he had a job because he stayed in our dorm for like a week straight. He was just there. They would lay in bed watching movies, talking all night instead of her talking on the phone. So nothing really changed there, but she would leave him in the dorm all day while she went to class. And I don't know if it was like worse when I was there or when I was gone. Because when I was gone, I was like, he's probably going through all my shit because he looked like he did like meth or something. He was not a cool dude. And when I was there, it was super weird too because he's just chilling there. And I'm like, my God. And of course, I still didn't say anything because I don't deal with confrontation well. Until one day I'm leaving for class and he comes up to me and goes, hey, do you have any pills? I was like, what the fuck kind of pills are you talking about? What pills? Like, I'm like, do you want some ibuprofen? I have ibuprofen. And he's like, no, like, you know, like Zans or like Vicodin or anything like that. And I was like, no, I don't. And I made sure to lock my shit. Like, our closet's locked. I would put all my shit in my closet before I left every day. He probably watched me do it every day and was like, this bitch. But it was literally nuts. And then I did like one thing that pissed her off one time. And she went to our RA and was like, Jordan's like really mean and doing all these bad things. So I get done with cheer practice one day and I have like a text. So this is like 10 p.m. And I get a text from my RA that was like, hey, Kendra wants to have a mediation with the three of us because she's been having some problems with you. And then I lost it. I literally came into the dorm. I like threw the door open and like she's probably heard me speak like 4 times, like the entire semester. I like threw the door open and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, after all the shit I've put up with you, I do one thing that's not even a big deal, and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, oh my God, like, stop. You're making me really upset. I have some anger issues, and I don't want to take them out on you. And I was like, you have a lot of fucking issues, clearly. And that have nothing to do with me, but you're making it about me. So, whatever, dude. And then I went to my RA and I was pretty much like, look, I requested to not have her as a roommate in the very beginning of the year, and there was nothing they could do about it because there were freaking homeless students everywhere that had to get the rooms first. Like, I get it, but she's horrible and I've hated her since the beginning. And my RA was just like, I understand. And the next day, they gave me a new room. And mind you, this is like spring break time, so it's already been 3/4 of the year that I've lived with her. And I was literally like, you can get me one that quickly just because I pissed her off. I would have pissed her off way before if that would have made the difference. But then I got my own room and it was really nice. And then I knew to never deal with a roommate again. So my advice to everyone out there is, if you think that it's a good idea to get a random roommate, it's not. Like, at least talk to them beforehand because you need to know what kind of freaking person they are. Okay, just had to get that off my chest. Bye! See you next week!